Hello, football fanatics, and welcome to the Real Talk FC. I hope you're all doing well, keeping safe. And if you're new to the channel, welcome. This is a place where we talk all things football. So, whether you want to gloat about how well your team is doing, or whether you want to rant about how poorly your team is doing, like I did on my previous video about Arsenal, so please check it out. Whether you want to talk about VAR decisions or how much you hate football, international football, you can all do it on the Real Talk FC. So please hit the subscribe button, like, share, and let us get in touch with us. And all our information will be in the description, and you can come on and have your say. And joining me, as always, Triv. Welcome, bro. How are you doing?
Hello, brother. Hello to anyone watching the video. Thank you for watching the Real Talk FC. Yeah, I'm good, bro. I'm in a better place than I was 2 months ago with regards
I
to
think we've
football.
reversed roles.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, that's
yeah.
football, man.
And then let's see where we are in a further 2 months' time. Whether these
Yeah,
roles have reversed again,
I
whether
hope
we're
so.
both happy or whether we're both sad. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's also the option that we're both sad in 2 months, and I'm
Yeah, that's
hopefully
happened quite a
that's
few
that's
times.
not the
So,
one. Yeah,
but that
yeah.
is the
But other
beauty
than
of
that, all good.
football. Yeah.
And well,
Well,
beauty is one word to describe it. Pain is another word. But yeah,
yeah, but let's focus on the positives for now. Well, today, like I said, we talk all things football and we don't only discuss what's happening currently, we like looking in the past. And as most Arsenal and United fans, we are happier looking into the past because those were the good old times, and current times are not that great. But also I'd like to mention that the football world lost one of the greatest players of all time, Diego Maradona. Rest in peace. um, well, he did quite well to get to the age of 60 with his lifespan. So I
yeah,
must say he did well there. But what a phenomenal footballer he was. Now, to be honest, Triv, I'm sure you share the same opinion. We didn't really watch him because he played football before our time. But from the YouTube clips that we all look at nowadays, and from what we've heard and read, he was a phenomenal player, and I think that's understating how good he really was. So we decided that we'll do a legends team. And I need to put this in: when we talk about legends, we're not talking about players who are currently playing at the moment. So Ronaldo and Messi will not be on there. And
and Bentner.
and Bentner, sorry, I forgot about Lord. Um, and also, we will not be putting, even though they are legends, but we wouldn't be talking about players that we didn't watch grow up. So Pele, Maradona, obviously they are legends and they will be in most teams, but this legends team will combine of players that we watched as we were growing up and have retired now. So we're going to start from the goalkeeper all the way moving forward. And Triv and I decided to do the old school 4-4-2 formation, which is very rare nowadays. But because we're talking about legends, because we're talking about an era where we grew up watching football, that was the preferred formation. And damn,
Yeah,
I miss
classic
that
team,
formation.
classic formation. Yeah.
Exactly. Triv, when did you start watching football? Actually, I don't know. What year? Do you remember?
I can say that my first sort of clear memory of football is Man United Liverpool, and I remember Michael Owen, I remember Robbie Fowler playing for Liverpool. David James was in goal for them, so I'm going to say around 97, 98. I think is
Okay.
when I can remember incidents of football, and remember then wanting to watch the next game and following what Man United were doing basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, and how about you?
Yeah, same year, 98 actually. The first game. Now, unlike you, I don't know if I'm sure viewers don't know this, but you supported United because of your dad and your grandfather.
Yeah.
It's like a generational thing. Now, in my family, no one watches football. But they used to at that time. I grew up in Kenya, so at that time they used to show uh, Premier League and FA Cup games on like normal TV. Now obviously the things have changed, but there was the FA Cup final, and also were playing Newcastle in '98. That's the year they won the double. Now I had no idea what this final was, what these teams were. I used to watch a little bit of international football during the World Cup, and I just fell in love, like you said, love at first sight. I'm trying with the way Arsenal played. I love the kit. I love the players. I didn't even know their names. I was reading it at the at the back of the shirt, trying to memorize it, and there was no Google, so you couldn't go check who these players were. And I just kept an interest. I started looking at the newspaper fixtures and just following this team, which gave me lots of joy over the years, and now not so much. But yeah, so
I
the
was just
reason
going to say
why,
you mentioned
sorry.
you mentioned that no one in your family followed football until you started watching Arsenal. I just If Arsenal continue like this, maybe no one in your family is going to watch football going forward either.
Well, my younger brother, who's also the editor, who does the editing, so shout
Yeah.
out to him, Danny. He also started following football and also because of me. So I don't know after that if anyone else would like to follow, but yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's get into it. So let's start with the goalkeeper legends. The reason why I asked that question is so that our viewers can know what era, what year we are talking about from. So from 97, 96, 98, all the way to the current, well, till the players have retired. So Triv, what goalkeeper have you gone for? This was a tough one for me.
Before I tell you my pick, I'll tell you who I'd have liked to pick, but he refuses to retire, so I can't pick him.
Buffon?
Buffon, yeah.
Me too.
That's the first name that came to my head, and I was like, wait, hold on, he's still active.
I know. I put him in,
despite
and then I'm like, wait, isn't he still playing? Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Okay, I had to pick him up.
Yeah, so Buffon was something that I'd have went for first, but the person that I've gone for in his place, personally for me, Edwin van der Sar,
Not
is
Peter
going to be
Schmeichel.
my first choice. No, because Van der Sar had double European success. If I'm not mistaken, Van der Sar was the goalkeeper in the Ajax team that won the Champions League, and then he won it again with Man United.
Yeah.
Whereas Schmeichel only managed it once in United colours. So yeah, I've gone for Edwin van der Sar. I love Peter Schmeichel, but I think Van der Sar had a little bit more pedigree around Europe, having played for Ajax, Juventus, and Man United. I think it was Juventus. Yeah. So yeah, Edwin van der Sar for me. And you?
So I had two I was thinking of, but I went with my favorite. So the other one was Peter Schmeichel, but I went for Oliver Kahn. I loved the way he kept. Like, as a kid, when I watched him, he was my favorite. Like, when you're growing up, you only you're more interested in the forwards and the creative players, right? But when I used to watch football and I saw Oliver Kahn, I used to get so excited. His keeping style was so brilliant to watch. The way he charged out of his goal, it looked like a lion running from a cage. And I remember, I think Brazilian Ronaldo said that he was the most scared when Kahn came running out, and Ronaldo was one of the best strikers at the time. And he won multiple league titles, he won one Champions League, I think. They didn't do really well in the World Cup in those days, but Oliver Kahn for me was like, he'll always be there as my favorite top goalkeeper, and he is a legend. I mean, we can't really deny that. He did it over many years. He was on top of his game at that time, one of the best keepers in the world. But great shot stopper, commanding in the box, and frankly, just scary. I mean, strikers were just scared of Oliver Kahn because he was a monster in goal. And yeah, maybe a lot of people have forgotten about him, but he lives long in my memory for one of the best goalkeepers. So
yeah, I think Oliver Kahn or Brazilian Ronaldo, El Fenomeno, was one of the best one-on-one strikers ever.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody else was as comfortable
Yeah.
running at a goalkeeper, and yet he found it scary running at Oliver Kahn. So if somebody with that pedigree found being one-on-one scary with Oliver Kahn, I think it's quite just your choice is justified. Let's put it
Yeah.
that way. Yeah, definitely. So on that note, we'd love to hear from anybody watching this video.
Yeah.
Who would you go for? Would you go for Van der Sar? Would you go for Oliver Kahn? Or is there a third option that you'd pick instead of the choices that we've gone for? So, yeah, Raheel, where do you want to move to next? Right back and then
right
move
back.
our way
Let's
across?
go- Yeah, right back.
Okay, so I went first for goalkeepers. You can go first for your right back.
For me, again, like these choices will be a bit biased because I've also gone for players I like and I liked
Yeah.
watching, and they are legends in their own right. They've done million, and I've gone for Philipp Lahm, sticking to the Germans. Excellent, consistent player year after year, and I watched him almost throughout his career. Like not as much as I did with other players because he played in the German league, but during World Cups, Euros, and sometimes Champions League games, he was like he never made many mistakes. He was such a consistent player, versatile. He could play in midfield. He was predominantly a right back, but consistent player, solid going forward, solid defensively. Like he was just like if you put him, for me, if you had to engineer a right back from scratch, Philipp Lahm would come out on the other side because his crossing was brilliant, his defending was brilliant, and he was a captain. He led Germany and Bayern Munich to trophies, and I don't think I can say anything more than that. Philipp Lahm goes straight into my Legends team as a right back. How about you?
I've gone for the man who they said had 3 lungs, Cafu.
I was very close with him. Man, that was a good shot. Very, very good shot.
One of the most ridiculous memories that I have of watching Cafu play was when Ronaldo was 19, 20 playing for Man United, and we played that aging AC Milan team, and Ronaldo, 20 years of age, youth on his side, and Cafu stayed with him in the 90th minute when Ronaldo was charging at him. This 38-year-old right back was able to stay with the 20-year-old not a normal 20-year-old,
Yeah.
Cristiano Ronaldo, in the 90th minute of a match. And I just remember thinking, that's incredible. That's just ridiculousness. And I think
Great
I think he's
player. Well,
yeah. I think he also has longevity on his side.
Yeah.
I think he's played 4 different World Cups, or obviously 4 different, but 4 World Cups for Brazil. He's won one of them or 2 of them as well.
I think 2.
So yeah, 98 and then 2006, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So for me, I love Philipp Lahm. I had a
2002
feeling you'd go for him.
and 2006. 98
Yeah,
is France.
Korea.
Yeah.
Korea, Japan. Yeah. Cool. So yeah, I've gone for
Okay.
for Cafu.
I think let's move on to the center backs. Let's go both at once. Just let's talk
Cool.
about the pair. So I went with the right back. Triv, what's your center back
Yeah.
pairing?
I've gone for, and I'm a bit worried about centre forwards against this pair. I don't know how many of them will survive. Ramos and Vidic.
Ramos
are
is
the
still
2 that
playing.
are-
By the way,
You're right.
I thought of that.
Yeah,
also.
you're 100% right. Okay, so I'm gonna go for Vidic, and then my second choice is going to be biased, but I'm gonna then go for Rio Ferdinand, who was my second choice behind.
So you have an
Sergio
all
Ramos, much
Man
like
United back 3, like center back, goalkeeper.
the
Yeah.
centre back pairing. Yeah, and I mean, Van der Sar also did win a Champions League with Ajax, so the end of his career at Man United, yeah, but he's had success with Juventus and
No.
and Ajax as well. So yeah, so I've gone Rio and Vidic. Then I didn't want to do that purely based on the fact that I didn't want to be overly Man United heavy. But
It's
I think
difficult. Trust me, I've also got.
Yeah.
I've snuck a few also players. Come on, but the thing is, it's our Legends team. So
Yeah.
like you said, if anyone has any other players, they can leave it in the comments, and we'll read it out on the next show.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, for me then Rio, the Rolls Royce, and Vidic, the mass murderer. And what
Yeah.
about you?
This one was a bit tough because there's so many great centre backs. Not anymore, but they used to be.
Yeah.
Um, so I again went for a player I loved watching, Carlos Puyol. He was an animal, a beast. He would put anything on the line, his neck, his toe. He and I mean, he won every single thing you can think of: Euros, World Cup, Champions Leagues, and multiple of them, not just one, not just two, three Champions Leagues, two Euros, or 1 euro, one World Cup. I don't know. Regardless, league titles,
Two
everything.
Euros, one World Cup.
Yeah. So an
Yeah.
insane defender. Also captained his side to trophy. So amazing, and I loved his rawness and how crazy he was as a center back.
I have this memory of Puyol dislocating his elbow and number one wanting to continue and then number two being fit for the next game and just thinking, how are you doing this? Yeah,
No,
superhuman.
he was an
Superhuman Carlos
absolute
Puyol.
monster, and I love that about him.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we would kill for a player like that to play for Arsenal, but players like don't exist anymore. Not defenders anywhere. And the other one are definitely biased, but I've gone for Tony Adams, Mr. Arsenal himself. I think he's the only player or captain to win a league title in 3 different decades. I mean, that's something. His longevity was insane. I know he had some issues, with his personal life, which affected his football, but he bounced back, came back, captained the side to another league, a few more league titles. Yeah, on the international level, it didn't win much because obviously England weren't doing that well during those times. But he was just a solid defender, great captain. And yeah, so those are that's my center back pairing. I mean, it would be fun watching them strikers go against them because that would be so. But the 3 I have: Oliver Kahn, Puyol, and Adams. Oh, I would love to see how strikers would shit themselves when they go against that 3. Yeah, I love the monstrosity in those players because that's what we lack nowadays. It's all about ball playing center backs now. But anyway, that was back in the day. So I'll move on to left back. And for me, that was quite easy, actually. I went for Roberto Carlos. Again, amazing left back. I know he was a lot more attacking than defending, but he could take free kicks. He won multiple Champions League, World Cup, same as Cafu, amazing player to watch. And yeah, I don't think I can say much more on that. Who did you go for as your left back?
The man over my right shoulder here. I don't know if you could. Sorry, that's the other shoulder. I don't know if you can see.
Maldini.
Mr. Paolo Maldini. Yeah. I did some research on this because it's baffled me on a number of occasions. Was Paolo Maldini a centre back or was Paolo Maldini a left back?
Yeah.
And he played majority of his career at left back before. Well, actually, he played some of it at right back, majority of it at left back, and the end of it at centre back. So I think just based on that alone, he's justified being in any all-time 11. And then you add to the fact that his record for AC Milan is ridiculous. He's won everything there is to win in football. He's done it with a single club, and his performances, his leadership. A person that I would have picked. But I haven't watched him enough to say I think he's amazing, was also Maldini's compatriot, Alessandro Nesta.
Yeah.
And I think Nesta and Maldini, their tackling and their decision of when to jump into a tackle was amazing. Part of the reason I love Rio Ferdinand so much was that he had that same ability of, I know Rio's now got his saying, stay on your feet. It's a joke now, but it's serious when he was a centre back. There was no reason to go to ground. These players had this ability to only leave their feet if they knew they were going to win a ball. I don't think Paolo Maldini ever lost a tackle. I don't think he ever went to ground and gave away a silly penalty or a free kick that was needless. I think Paolo Maldini, leader, amazing footballer. For me,
Amazing. That
uh,
Italian defense was
yeah.
something else. The reason why I
Yeah.
haven't put him in, I thought about this, but because I didn't watch him much, to be honest.
Yeah.
I've heard of how good he was. I've seen YouTube clips, amazing, but I didn't watch him much to be able to put him in. But of
Yeah.
course, I don't think anyone can argue with the the quality of those two players, Nesta and Maldini. I mean, yeah, generational. They'll always be there as legends. So that's the defense done. Now let's move into midfield. Now we were having a discussion off where we've gone for a different setup in midfield. So I've gone a flat four almost. Yeah, you can call that. And how about you? You've gone for something
Yeah, I've
different.
got. Look, I've got in my mind it's a diamond, but both of the players that I've picked can play as a flat midfield as well. So yeah, I'll go first for
Go
this
for it.
one. I'll start on the right hand side. I'm gonna go for the Dutchman, Ian Robben.
Great player.
I, I it is the most ridiculous thing to be able to tell somebody what you're going to do beforehand
And
and then still do it and then they can't do anything about it. That's just insane ability. Iron Robin, he's cutting onto his left foot and putting things in the top corner. I think is just legendary.
Yeah.
And yeah, aside from, I think injuries are the only blotch on his career. But for me, I've gone for Iron Robin on
Yeah,
the right
one
flank.
of
How
the
about you?
greatest left foots in football. What a player.
Yeah.
It was a really great shot. I had him in my mind, but I've gone for someone who didn't only play on the right hand side, but majority of the time he did was Luis Figo. He was also creative, so if you're playing in a four, he can drift inside, go outside. I mean, he has countless assists. Again, played for massive clubs in Barcelona and Real Madrid. So won Champions League, league titles. Brilliant. Did he also win the Euro, right? With Portugal?
No, no.
No. Oh no, he lost against
Yeah,
Greece. Oh yeah, they lost
they
in the
lost.
final.
Thanks for bringing up that memory.
I forgot.
Yeah.
But regardless of whether he won or not, he was. I mean, you when you talk about legends, Luis Figo has to come in your mind because he was a phenomenal player, creative, technically gifted, just gliding around, amazing. That you'll see a lot of those players from that Galacticos team are in my Legends team, and obviously for good reason
Yeah.
because they were phenomenal. So I'll
I think
continue. Sorry,
one
yeah.
thing on Luis Figo. There's something else that he did that I think has shaped modern day football. In the Euro that you're talking about, that they lost to Greece, Figo was the Portugal star in that World Cup. Ronaldo
Yep.
was 18 years old.
Yeah, yeah.
Sorry, not World Cup, in the Euro. Yeah,
Euro.
Ronaldo was 18 years old. I think a lot of professionals can learn from what Luis Figo did in that tournament. As the star in the team, you get to pick where do you want to play. Luis Felipe Scolari was the manager of Portugal at the time, and Luis Figo chose to play off the left so that Ronaldo could play on his more comfortable side. And look how
Yeah.
that turned out for Portugal. That instilled confidence in a young 18-year-old Ronaldo, and now Portugal have international trophies which they never had previously. So yeah, amazing on the field, and also somebody who had
Very
the
smart.
mind to a smart footballer.
That's
Yeah.
why smart
So-
footballers can play in many positions and play well.
Yeah.
That's the thing because they
Yeah.
know they can learn the position quite quickly and adapt. But amazing player. I'm going to go to the midfield and I'm going to tell two of them so we can hurry,
go.
like just both of them. And
Yeah.
also because it's the French connection. Zinedine Zidane, without a doubt, my favorite player of all time, has to be in there. And a little bit of bias, but also because he's just a sheer monster in midfield. Patrick Vieira. Um, They both won the 98 World Cup and were there for the 2000 Euros. So both of them won many league titles with their clubs as well. Vieira didn't win the Champions League, Zidane did. But I mean, having those two in midfield with Zidane's quality, I don't think I have enough words to describe how brilliant he was. I mean, even in the Galacticos team, there were games he just stood out, and that tells you a lot. For me, because I didn't watch Pele Maradona, for me, he is the greatest player of all time. I know Ronaldo and Messi scored a lot of goals, and they're obviously right up there. But Zidane had something else. His playing style, he made football look like he can do it in his sleep. It was that easy for him. He scored in massive World Cup finals. He single-handedly led teams to winning. Scored in Champions League final to that famous goal against Bayer Leverkusen, I think it was. Against Brazil, scored Leverkusen. 2 in the final. I mean, you can't say anything. He's a big player for big occasions. Yes, in that World Cup, and the headbutt will always be remembered.
Stood up for his sister.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. The guy won everything, man.
Yeah.
He would. I think if he stayed on the pitch, he would have added another World Cup.
I mean, he also Panenka Gigi Buffon before headbutting Materazzi.
Exactly. I forgot about that penalty. It was insane. Like, to have the balls to do that in the World Cup final, there's only a Zidane
against Buffon,
one of the best keepers in the world ever. Yeah. And Patrick Vieira, of course, I have an Arsenal bias, but box to box midfield, can tackle, score, assist, everything. An all-rounded midfielder, amazing in his prime. He dipped a little towards the end of their career, but I guess most players do that.
Yeah.
But he was still great. So yeah, that's my midfield too. And what about you? The French connection.
I've got Zidane also, so
yeah,
I'm not going to say. I mentioned that I wanted to go for a diamond style midfield. So at the point of the diamond, Zinedine Zidane. Yeah, enough said. At the base, if you've gone Vieira, who have I gone for?
Paul Scholes. I think or Roy Keane.
No, Roy Keane. Paul Scholes only lost out because, as far as I am concerned, the only person in the world that I'd pick instead of Paul Scholes is Zinedine Zidane. So, unfortunately for Paul Scholes, I have gone for Zidane. Yeah, and I've gone Roy Keane for almost the mirror image of the reasons that you've picked Patrick Vieira. Like, as a Man United fan, that treble, despite the fact that York was our top scorer, despite the fact that David Beckham was the leading assist maker, assist giver, whatever you want to call it, we wouldn't have won the treble if it wasn't for Roy Keane. When we went away to Juventus that we had a ridiculously poor record against, he basically decided in that semi-final, nah lads, we're not losing today, and dragged us across the line after getting a yellow card that meant that he knew he wouldn't play in the final anyway, to still put out that sort of performance when you know that you're not even going to be involved in what's coming up next. Roy Keane for me is the best captain that I've seen in sports, and I think the Vieira Keane rivalry went
greatest. I think for me, greatest rivalry player to player in football history. I'm not saying English football. That's why the United Arsenal rivalry means much more to me than Spurs or Chelsea, because growing up, that's what we were used to. And who was your fourth?
It wasn't just about.
Sorry.
Just on the Arsenal United rivalry. I think the other reason why Patrick Vieira, Roy Keane stands out the way it does is that it wasn't just because the two clubs are 5 kilometers away from each other. It was because of titles. They were deciding titles between the two of them, and football is about winning trophies. It's very nice to say that, to have bragging rights in the city and stuff like that. That's cool, but at the end of the day, you play to win titles, and I think that's why Keane and Vieira had that elevated rivalry. Number 4, my left winger. I'm sorry, Ryan Giggs, you are amazing, but Ronaldinho for me is going to play off the left flank.
I was so close to putting Ronaldinho, but it'll be funny.
I don't like Messi and Ronaldo are different level footballers. I don't think I've seen anybody destroy people's souls the way that Ronaldinho did. And with the ease that he did it, he just made football look easy. He did everything with a smile on his face. Ridiculous. Yeah, Ronaldinho on the left wing for
Well,
me.
you didn't go for him, but I did. Ryan Giggs. And
Yeah.
obviously during my time of watching football, I hated United. Like most Arsenal and United fans hated each other. That was a thing. It's still a kind of a thing. But I only realized, like, we all know how good Giggs was, how good Scholes was, how good Beckham was. But then, when he reached towards the end of his career, and I still watched him, in university, used to watch him still play and still perform at the highest level
Yeah.
at that age. And because for me, his longevity was insane. I mean, his league titles just speak volumes. How many does he have? Like 10? I don't know. Crazy.
13, I think.
Oh, sorry,
I think
13
it's
league
13.
titles. So,
Yeah, I think it's
I
13.
mean, a highly, highly decorated player. A couple of Champions Leagues in there, or one Japan. I don't know
Yeah.
how many, but yeah.
Two
Two.
Champions
Yeah,
Leagues.
he did play for
Yeah.
Wales, so unfortunately he couldn't do anything with his national team. But I think if he was born in another country, one of the top countries that were competing for World Cups and Euros, he would
There's
definitely walk into any
there's
team.
an there's an old saying that says if Ryan Giggs was born 8 kilometers the other side of the border, England would have had David Beckham, Gerard Lampard, and Giggs compared to shifting Scholes out to the left and playing Darius Vassell and Joe Cole and all these
Yeah.
other random people. They would have had Ryan Giggs. Unfortunately, he was born the other side of the border, and then they went to a World Cup with Darius Vassell playing on the left wing, and it didn't
Yeah,
work out
but-
that well.
Yeah, so I had to put him in. He is
Yeah.
one of the best wingers of all time. Yeah, so that's the midfield done, and now let's get to the most exciting part, the forwards. So I'll start this time. I'm gonna mention both of them. Of course, I don't think anyone's gonna be surprised who've been watching this show, and like most Arsenal fans will have him in a heartbeat, is Thierry Henry. I don't think I can say much more. Just all-rounded, gifted footballer, amazing. We did a show on the best Premier League strikers, and I've put him in that. So obviously, he's won every single trophy there is to win. He couldn't win the Champions League with Arsenal, but he went to Barcelona and got that too. So World Cup, Euro, Champions League, league titles, phenomenal player. I mean, you can just go watch his highlights for hours and not get bored of his goals. Beautiful, beautiful footballer to watch play. And I was lucky enough to grow up watching Thierry Henry. And my second one, we already spoke about this, is the Brazilian Ronaldo. So when I was growing up, again, he was, like I said, one-on-one. I don't think he ever missed goals. And now I've gone back and I've watched some of his highlights, because growing up, you're a kid and you think everything is so exciting and so great.
Yeah.
But when you watch it, now that we've watched football for so many years, and you go back and watch the things he did, you realize he was actually better than I thought at that time.
Yeah.
because when you're a kid, you think, this is easy to do. No, it's not. Some of the shit he did, he made it look so simple. But he could dribble past like 10 players and score. And if it wasn't for his injuries, I think he would have smashed records for fun. And again, decorated everything. He's won the World Cup, Champions League, league titles. Played for Inter Milan, brilliant. Played for Real Madrid, brilliant. Wherever he went, he did brilliant. And like I said, if it wasn't for his injuries, and a strike force of Ronaldo and Thierry Henry, that just sounds, yeah, that's giving me all kinds of goosebumps just thinking about it. I wanted to say something else, but we'll keep it clean. So what did you go for?
Brazilian Ronaldo as well. The difference is I've not gone for Thierry Henry this time. I know I stole your pick in the Premier
Yeah.
League best strikers. I went for Henry. This time round though, because it's not an out and out centre forward choice, I am going to go for Wayne Rooney. I just think and I'm picking him because he's now the manager of Derby. He's technically still player manager, but I think he's pretty much
Yeah, I
retired
can
now.
say he's retired.
Yeah. I saw him in a suit after the last win. I think it was against, I can't remember. But yeah, it was weird seeing Rooney in that managerial role. But yeah, after seeing him, it's because he's taken over after their manager got sacked. But yeah, it was weird seeing him in a managerial role. However, I saw him for 14 years playing in a Man United shirt, or 10 years playing in a Man United shirt. Ridiculous footballer. I think Rooney's highlights package looks like he was trying to win goal of the season every single goal that he was that he scored. 16-year-old Rooney. Martin Tyler has this tendency to sometimes be a little bit too poetic about the things that he says, and he can be a bit over the top if you go back and look at some of
celebrations.
However, that line, remember the name Wayne Rooney. Martin, I think you got that one spot on. Fantastic football.
I love Martin Tyler, by the way. Great commentator, but
for me, the front two that I've gone for, my all-time is Wayne Rooney and Brazilian Ronaldo, El Fenomeno.
So we only had two players that were the same, Zidane and Ronaldo. The rest, we all had different. Quite interesting. But so those are our teams. We have gone quite a long time now, but it is amazing to talk about these wonderful, amazing players. And please let us know in the comments if you disagree or agree with our selections, and also let us know whose team do you think would be better on paper, or like face to face. I don't know, Triv's team or my team. It'll be interesting to know what you guys think. If there's anyone, no one comments, but I'll keep on saying till someone actually comments. So
I have a question. Please leave a comment below. By how many goals you think my team will destroy Rails? I'd love to know.
Right. Oliver Kahn will eat all your strikers. That was a great chat. Thanks, Triv. Thanks. Great choice of topic. So thanks for that also.
Yeah, and just lastly, I know that the reason we did this video, thank you, Diego, for the memories, for everything, for sitting at the last World Cup in front of a powder-stained window, giving us an image that will never get old. Thank you for making England the most bitter country going on about that handball. Rest in peace.
Yep, rest in peace, Diego. And thank you, everyone. Please, if you liked the video and have stuck with us till now, thank you. Please hit that like button. Share with your friends and family. You can come on, like I've mentioned many times. And subscribe, please. Let's get it up to 100. We're like slowly trickling along, but it'll be great to get more subscribers and have more people on the show. Take care, everyone, and we'll see you soon. Goodbye.
Peace.